I was born deaf. My parents found out when I was 5. I did go through speech therapy. I can speak some.
Hi.
Like that as an example.
Around 5% of the world's population is affected by some form of hearing loss. While hearing aids are helpful for some, they're ineffective or only partially effective for many deaf people. And cochlear implants are expensive and require an invasive surgery.
Something we don't remember, but all of us had to learn how to use our ears. So when we were born, our brains didn't know how to interpret all these volleys of spikes coming in. And eventually it became just the perceptual experience of hearing. And this is exactly what happens to people with the wristband. They start off saying, oh, there's something buzzing on my skin. And then after a while, they simply hear with it.
Baby.
What the brain is really good at doing is taking in information and putting together a story of what's going on out there. But the surprising part is it doesn't care how it gets that information. So we're used to eyes and ears and nose and mouth and fingertips and so on, but it turns out that you can get the information in there a different way and the brain will figure it out. This is what's known as sensory substitution. So in my neuroscience lab, we got interested in this topic of sensory substitution and whether we could do that for people who are deaf. So we built a vest that has vibratory motors on it.
So this is the vest that we built.
And the vest captures sound and turns that into patterns of vibration on the skin of the torso.
Sleep. Work.
And deaf people could get so good at this that they were able to understand spoken words.
Where?
So we ended up shrinking that down over time to a wristband, and it's listening to the world, and then it has vibratory motors all down here. And this is spread in a spectrum so that you're actually feeling the sounds from low to high, which is exactly what your inner ear does. Your inner ear picks up on sounds of the world, breaks it into low to high frequencies, and ships that off to the brain. We're doing the same thing, but we've transferred the inner ear to the skin. So that was a car engine starting, and I could feel the vibration on my skin of the engine. And of course, since it's mapped from low to high frequency, I feel it go up and down. I feel it spatially as well as the amplitude of it on my skin. Philip was one of our first participants when we were testing this out some years ago. And so Philip actually wore a very early prototype of this, and it was very life-changing to him.
They gave me an example of the first product they had, and I started crying when I first used it. It was great. I was able to feel and understand so much stuff that was happening around me. I know when I have it on, I do have this connection. I feel more connected with my family. I'm able to recognize words like when they say, I love you, and things like that. I'm also able to feel emotion in people's voices, and I think we should all have that.
Okay, so Philip, you ready? I'm gonna play some sounds, and then you see if you can identify them.
I'd like to.
Knocking on the door.
Very good, here we go.
Oh, dog barking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the car horn.
Oh.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the piano. I love music. Without this, I'd have to, turn up music really loud and put my hands on everything to feel the vibrations. I don't want to have to touch everything, especially with COVID. But with the wristband, I can feel everything.
Okay, so now we've stepped out into the road to test the wristband in the wild and to see if Philip can tell when there's a car coming down the road. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can hear another one. Yeah.
This guy is feeling a real-time feed of data.
The question that I've been asking as a neuroscientist is, can we actually make it so that we're picking up on different kinds of signals and experiencing a new kind of reality?
We brought in a blind participant and put the vest on him, and he could tell where everybody was by feeling where people are around him.
We have 70 other projects in development right now for feeding in new kinds of senses to people. So not merely substitution, but addition of senses. So for example, being able to detect infrared light or electrical fields or the movement of the stock market or Twitter sentiment or what's going on with your drone as you're flying it around. We're actually feeling the pitch, yaw, roll, orientation, and heading of your drone on your skin. Whatever you plug in, the brain will figure it out. And it turns out if you plug in new senses, as long as it's relevant, the brain will figure out what to do with those senses. All the information is sitting there, but normally we're blind to it. And it is possible to take in this kind of information and add it to our repertoire of what we consider reality.